Welcome back, where today we're covering Battlefield 2042 Season 6, because we've got a bit of info in the past couple of days about what Season 6 might entail, but today I want to go through the things that it needs to be a success, and the things it needs to really satisfy me as a player, because Season 5, unfortunately, even though the quality has been very, very good in terms of the content that we've got, it's not really kept me constantly playing the game like I have for the other 4 seasons. And now I want to preface this by saying I have played this game a lot. I'm clocking in at almost 800 hours in the game now. That is a very long time to be playing a game that hasn't even been out for 2 years yet. Obviously there are people with more time and less time, but I did maybe burn myself out with the first 4 seasons by playing non-stop, but Season 5 just felt like there hasn't been so much of a constant feed of content and news all the way through. And I'd like to see that maybe rectified in Season 6. So let's start with one of the main things in terms of leaks that we've got, and that is the story and how that's going to influence the map that we'll get in Season 6. The story itself I'm going to gloss over a little bit, but the main takeaway is from the leaks and the player cards is that we're probably going to get some sort of artificial environment. Now I don't think this is going to be artificial as in generated by a computer, but artificial as in, a fake dome of, an ecosystem or an area to simulate different conditions for training soldiers. So, you could have a beach area and go through a doorway and suddenly you're in a rainforest, and then you can go through another doorway and suddenly you're in a desert or a snowy tundra. Stuff like that would be really cool, and I think for gameplay and to spice up the map selection, that would be such a cool map to have. The devs have said that the new map is very strange but very Battlefield-like, and I think something like this could really work. The new player cards talked about shooting ceiling panels out of a fake sky, so imagine if the panels making up the sky in these laboratories or these testing environments can be shot down and you can reveal, the fake outside or the ceiling panels. I think that'd be really cool to have a bit of destruction. It does beg the question, how big do these areas need to be to accommodate vehicles, unless we're going with another very small map just for infantry, but we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think the new map has some very exciting potential to be something amazing. We also had the Skate playtest leak for the new Battlefield map a few weeks ago. I can't show this on screen, otherwise I'll get probably DMCA'd by EA, but ultimately it looks pretty great. It looks like an outside area that has a couple of different style buildings than we're used to for 2042, and I think that looks really fresh and interesting. So if they can tie that all together with a great map, I'm going to be one happy person. Now in terms of maps, we can either go the route of having 1 map or having 2 maps. I firmly believe we're still going to get 1 map, and that is slightly disappointing. Maybe we'll get 2, but my way of thinking was that at this point all the reworks are done. Maybe we can move on to a season where we get more than 1 map. I unfortunately, don't see that happening. All the leaks point towards it being 1, all of the new player card leaks point it towards being 1, but I'd love to be proven wrong. But I do think for the rest of the life cycle, we're just going to get 1 map a season, which is disappointing, but that's just how it is. Let's talk guns. We usually get maybe 2 or 3 per season. There's a chance we could get more. Of course, we do get Vault weapons too, and assuming they're kept up throughout the rest of the life cycle of 2042, we'll probably get a fair few Vault weapons in Season 6, because Season 5 has really been about refining Vault weapons. It's not been about adding them. So hopefully we catch up a little bit in Season 6, get loads more LMGs, sniper rifles, SMGs and assault rifles to play around with in All-Out Warfare from the Vault selection. And also, of course, new weapons entirely in All-Out Warfare. In terms of weapons, I'd love to see an AUG. That's something that's severely missing, but aside from that, I'm open to pretty much any weapon that they can throw at us. Vehicles are also not to be missed, because we didn't have any last season. That kind of sucks, but I also understand them maybe wanting to keep the vehicle, meta fairly balanced as it can be, meaning they can change things within the meta without having to add anything and dilute it more. It does give DICE, the ability to control how the game feels in terms of vehicle gameplay and what people pick, but of course variety is the spice of life, and I'd love more vehicles going forwards, but there is a chance that we've seen the last of new vehicles. I think it would be quite nice, as I said in one of my previous videos, when the gunship category was created. Now the Condor and the Hind both fit into the gunship category that's been newly implemented. We can get a proper transport helicopter, maybe like a Huey or an equivalent for 2042. With no weapons or just machine guns, I think that would be awesome to, have something that is a dedicated transport, because let's be fair, the Condor and the Hind both only have 2 spaces for normal people to sit in with their guns. The rest of them are miniguns and the main front cannon. You only have 2 spaces for passengers that aren't actively manning weapon systems, meaning you can only really transport 2 people that will be willing to get out at one time. That doesn't really fit the role of transport, and I'm glad that they have shifted towards naming them gunships, but this needs to open, the opportunity to have actual transport helicopters with loads of spaces for players that are just sitting there waiting to be transported around the map. That needs to happen, it really does. That's something that the game is sorely missing and has been since launch, since the Condor and Hind have been such forces of nature on the battlefield. In terms of gadgets, who knows what we'll get? Maybe we'll get some new grenades like we did last season. Maybe we'll get, you know, a different throwable or a different gadget to put down for each class. I have absolutely no idea. All we know is we're not going to get any more specialists with new specialist gadgets, but we don't know about class gadgets or any other ones like that. I'd say the most likely outcome is more gadgets from, you know, the Vault side of things coming over. We just got the RPG-7 in the start of Season 5. Any of the gadgets remaining there, I would bank on one of those being brought over instead of new ones, just like they did in the last season. But yeah, as I said, in terms of specialist gadgets, of course, we're done since Season 4. No more specialists. They're going to sit in their little specialist pool with 14 of them, and that's going to be it. Which I think is perfectly fine, to be honest. Of course, variety is great for having different styles of soldiers on the battlefield, but I also feel like the amount of cosmetics that the game has at this point leans it into not having a clone problem anymore. Sure, you might have the problem of differentiating between sides without, you know, the massive green and red lights on the chests of people, but I think we're getting to the point where you can't actually identify which specialist is which without looking at their equipment, just by looking at their skin. There are some McKay skins now, some Liz skins, some Falk skins where I look at them and I think, I don't know which specialist that is. They've got a mask on, they look cool, and the only way I can really tell is by looking at what gadget they're carrying, which is, I think, how it should be. You shouldn't be distracted by the fact that you're playing with, you know, clones of player models, which is how it was at launch, but it's much, much better now. So in terms of specialists, I'm not too mad we're not going to get any more. Of course, Season 6 is not going to have a new one. And finally, in terms of cosmetics, the only thing I've really got to say about that is keep up the recent trends of keeping it militaristic. Don't make it too wacky. Some of the cosmetics for the last event, I wasn't too keen on. They looked a little bit out there. They're on that edge of not being, you know, realism focused, and I'm not, you know, a milsim player with Battlefield. That's not why I play the series. I can go play squad or armor if I want that experience, but I would like them to, you know, not take me out of the game like the Warzone or Call of Duty skins nowadays do. I don't think we're anywhere near that point just yet at all, and I think we're in safe hands, but just in case, you know, there are some weird skins coming, I really hope there aren't. Who knows, but I do have faith in DICE in terms of their cosmetic department and their visual design department. They're all stellar. And finally, I hope that Season 6 has a steady upkeep of content. I know we're getting in probably to the end of the life cycle of 2042. We're going to see the last couple of seasons roll through. I'm going to be here for it, I'm going to be enjoying it, but I do hope there is more steady content flows than there have been in Season 5. It has felt a little bit stagnant, and while it's been fun to play through the Battle Pass, you can only really be motivated by those rewards enough. The game itself should be enough to keep you coming back. And whether that's coming back daily or weekly, that's up to you. For me, it was daily for, you know, Season 1 to 4. Season 5 has been, you know, a couple times a week, and it has been really enjoyable, but it's not been as fresh as it used to. So I just hope Season 6 rolls a lot of content our way. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. I'm looking forward to Season 6 very, very much. I should be back from my festival here in the UK when that is out, so I hope to be able to cover it for you guys. And I hope you all do enjoy it too when it arrives. We've got a couple weeks of Season 5 left, so let me know what you thought of this season so far and what you're looking forward to in the future. With that being said, feel free to like and subscribe if you did enjoy. If you want to comment talk to me or anybody else that loves this game, head over to the NoSalt Discord. The link is in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one.